Hello, friends. Today's traveling story is just a little bit silly. I thought we could use some silliness today. This is a story about a family, a girl and her mother and her father, who get all upset over something that has never even happened yet. Let's see what happens in this story called The Three Sillies. There once was a girl named Beth, and she had a mother and a father, and she also had a boyfriend. His name was John. One day, John came over to have supper with Beth and her mother and her father. They had a lovely supper because Beth's mother was a very good cook. And after supper, even though they ate and ate and ate, they had just enough room for, can you guess? Dessert, that's right. Now, Beth's mother was a good cook, but the thing that she was known far and wide for were her canned peaches. Oh, she would take fresh peaches and cut those up, put them in a pot and cook them with a little bit of sugar and some cinnamon, and then put them into glass jars, seal those jars, and then store them, take them downstairs to their basement, to their cellar, and put them on the shelves where they would stay nice and fresh out of the sunlight. Now, Beth's mother said, "Beth, go downstairs and get one of those jars of jam, of peaches for dessert." And so Beth did that. She went down the stairs to the cellar, to their basement. She reached up to get a jar of those peaches. And then Beth looked, and right beside that shelf was a ladder. And Beth got to thinking, I really like John, and I think he really likes me, and what if one day we get married, and then after a while we have a baby, and that baby is a boy, and that boy grows up, and we send him downstairs to get a jar of peaches, and what if that ladder falls on our son and hits him on the head? Oh no! And Beth began to cry. Wasn't she being silly? Yes. She began to cry. Meanwhile, her mother and her father and John waited at the table. Beth didn't come back. So Beth's father said, "Mother, you better go downstairs and check and see what's taking that girl so long." So Beth's mother went down the stairs, and there she saw Beth on the floor crying. She said, "What's the matter?" And Beth said, Mama, I really like John, and I think he really likes me, and what if one day we get married, and then we have a baby, and that baby boy grows up, and we send that boy down here to get a jar of peaches, and Mama, look, this ladder right here. What if this ladder falls over on top of him and hits him on the head? Oh, that would be terrible. And Beth's mother said, oh, yes, that would be terrible. And Beth's mother began to cry. Meanwhile, Beth's father and John waited upstairs. Finally, Beth's father said, "I better go check and see what those two women are doing." And so Beth's father came down the stairs, and there he saw his wife and Beth sitting on the floor, crying their eyes out. He said, "What's the matter?" Beth said, "Daddy, I love John, and I think he loves me too. And what if one day we get married, and then we have a baby, and that baby grows up, and we send that little boy downstairs to get a jar of peaches. And Daddy, look, this ladder right here. What if this ladder falls over on top of him and hits his head? And Beth's daddy said, oh no, my grandson? Oh, that's terrible. And Beth's daddy began to cry. Well, John was waiting upstairs at the table when he thought he heard sounds of crying. He came downstairs, and there he saw Beth and her mother and her father sitting on the floor crying. What is the matter? He said. And Beth said, John, I love you, and I think you love me too. And I was just thinking, what if one day we get married, and then after a while we have a baby, a boy, and what if that boy, he grows up and we send him downstairs to get a jar of Mama's peaches, and look, John, this ladder right here, what if this ladder falls on top of him, and hurts him so bad? And John said, you three are being so silly. Look, and John went over and he took that ladder and he moved it across the room and he laid it down on the floor. Now, he said. And Beth looked at John. She said, oh, I do love you, John. And Beth's mother said, oh, John, you are so smart. And Beth's daddy said, the smartest man ever. And guess what, friends? Beth and John did get married. And after a while, they did have a baby boy. But not once when that little boy grew up and went downstairs to get a jar of peaches did anything bad happen. And that is the story of those three sillies. I hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you again next time.